Once again, here are 5 more webtoons that you absolutely gotta check out. Who Made Me a Princess? A girl is reborn in the body of a baby princess to an emperor who wants nothing to do with her, all inside a novel that she read. And thanks to that, she knows that her destiny is, well, death. I've heard this story time and time again, so much so that I was hesitant to pick up the series in the first place. But let me just tell you, the ratings do not lie, because this is a damn good webtoon. Athanasia is the daughter of an emotionally scarred emperor, but through her persistent cuteness, bit by bit she slowly breaks through his emotionally vacant shell, and becomes perhaps the single most precious thing to him. Now there is some more to all this as well, but I think I'm gonna just let you experience that for yourself. All I'll say on the matter is that things don't exactly go as planned, and the author wasted no time at all. This is an absolutely beautiful series. I love the relationship between Athanasia and her father, and I love how there's an actual story and reason behind his cold personality. To sum it up, shit goes hard. Isn't that right, Miss Webu? Triple S Class Revival Hunter. I already have a full video on this webtoon alone, but this is one that took me way by surprise. We all know the phrase "don't judge a book by its cover," but let's be honest, we all do it. And bro, I read the title of this, and I judged the fuck out of this series. If it weren't so heavily recommended to me, I wouldn't have picked this up in the first place. Confucius Kim's envy for the top hero of the tower gives birth to a skill. He may steal a skill from any individual who kills him, but at the cost of his own life. But luckily for him, when that very person he looked up to killed him, he got his hands on the perfect skill to complement it. Instead of dying, death will now send him back in time 24 hours. And listen, he took that shit personally. I can't even blame him. If some arrogant ass killed me, I'd be pretty infuriated too. But what my boy Confucius did next is just diabolical. He proceeded to go back in time over 4,000 days to get revenge. And based on the description of his skill, I'm sure you can guess the method. But before you just get past this section, yeah, I know it doesn't sound that incredible so far, but hear me out for a second. What made this series a must-read in my book is every single floor or level, and just how incredibly designed they all are. How in-depth the different scenarios that Confucius must face are. They aren't just, oh, here's some big boss to go and fight. Every single floor or set of floors is almost like its own story. And thanks to that, we get a little bit of genre jumping in here. One floor you've got some martial arts world, and the next you get a romance fantasy world. And these aren't half-baked scenarios either. Dare I say, the romance fantasy world is probably better than the majority of romance fantasies out there. My bias gets on the last train. I am mad at whoever recommended me this series, because I simply could not put it down. I was up until 3 a.m. reading this beautiful rom-com, and I loved every single second of it. This isn't your classic high school rom-com with a nerdy dude and an extroverted girl. And don't get me wrong, I do love my nerd ex-gal rom-coms. But this is something fresh. Yeo-eun, a college student, routinely catches the last train home after late shifts. There, he keeps noticing this absolute dime carrying a guitar, Hi-in. A chance conversation reveals they share the love for an indie band, Long Afternoon. But Hi-in got a little secret. She is the vocalist for that very band. Based on the genre, I think we can guess where this goes from there. This series does a lot of things right, but the pacing and the dynamic between these two have to be some of my favorite parts. And not to mention the artwork is just, mwah. This rom-com just hits right. It's cute without being cheesy. It's got a good story without just forcing misunderstandings. And it's not slow. There's only a little over 20 chapters free on Webtoons right now, but I am so excited to see where this goes from here. The Horizon. This series has some of the darkest artwork I've ever seen. The way the author illustrates such hopelessness is, simply put, incredible. You follow a young boy and girl in a war-torn world where morality and survival are constantly at odds. The only goal they have is to keep moving forward, but what awaits them at the end of this road? The second I opened the first chapter of this webtoon, I instantly knew I was in for something special. The utter grittiness of the artwork fits the themes of this series perfectly. And I love how the author lets the artwork speak for itself. As a medium, webtoons and manga are typically very dialogue driven. So I'm glad the author stepped away from that and let his artwork tell the story. Of course you still have some dialogue, but those scenes where it is simply just pictures, I'd argue those are some of the most powerful scenes in this series. Ghost Dating Simulation. This is about as fresh as you can get with a webtoon. It just started coming out this year and let me tell you, I'm already hooked. What if you were trapped in a horror dating sim? Unfortunately for Doyoung, this became a reality. After downloading a game sent to him by his friend, he became trapped in a dating sim where all the girls are ghosts. His only options now are win over their hearts or die. Since this series is so new, there really isn't a huge amount I can say about it, but so far the execution has been fantastic. And from what I can tell, it's heading in a good direction. I literally just saw it on the homepage of Webtoons, and before I even knew it, I was unlocking every single chapter I could. This was a single sitting read, my dudes. Needless to say, I enjoyed every second of it. It's a fresh twist in the romance genre, and I cannot wait to see where it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Senpai Supreme. If you need more Webtoon recommendations, I got 2 videos right here for you, and I've also got reviews on single series, anime, manga, all the above. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill by now, you heard it 1,000 times. And hope to see you guys all in the next video. Peace.
Comrade, I've recently heard some quite troubling news. Rumor has it you haven't subscribed to Senpai Supreme. Comrade, tell me this is not true. You have to subscribe right now, or the KGB will find out. Subscribe, comrade, and Mother Russia will be proud of you.